We believe that videos, images, words, and sounds have the absolute power to inform, inspire, and entertain. We are united under the virtues of safety and knowledge. We are a training community of learners and teachers who encourage and energize each other to achieve greatness. We are pilots, videographers, photographers, freelancers, business owners, enthusiasts, experts, and apprentices. We are creators. We are the Drone U.
Hey everyone, and welcome to another informative episode of Ask Drone U. My name is Paul.
And I'm Rob, and we like to think they're informative. Hopefully they are. Welcome to episode number 327. Thank you for spending a few minutes of your day with us. We know you have a lot of options of things that you can be doing, a lot of podcasts you could be listening to.
It's true.
You're hanging out with us, and we appreciate it.
We definitely do. Thanks for your time. Wherever you're listening, in your car, at the gym, in your office, at your standing desk, wherever it is that you're listening, thank you.
At your standing desk. That's a plug for standing desks.
Hey, you know what? Standing desks made me more productive, so...
Oh, they're great. Absolutely.
Anyway, guys, if you don't want to hear about the 333, run now. Run, run, run. There's actually a song that goes, run, 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 run. And every time I hear about the 333, that's what I think of.
I know. I feel the same way, as you guys know, but I think it's like a train wreck when you know
No, it is a train wreck.
Well, okay.
The train already wrecked.
The point is, when the train is wrecking, you can't stop looking at it, even though it's disconcerting on so many levels.
It is true.
Yeah.
We're not talking about whether you need a 333. I think you guys already know the answer to that and know the arguments on both sides, inside and out on that. But, you know, a lot of people are looking forward to 107 if it actually happens this June. But someone who has a 333 has a question about an issue that he had. So... we all have crashes. It's something that if you're not testing the limits or, you know, you're not learning, you know, but you want to try and have crashes on your own time when you're not at work. You want to know your bird inside and out.
Yeah, and crashes when there's nobody around, which is exactly what this fella experienced.
Yes.
Should we jump in?
Yeah, just go ahead and let's hear about his unique experience.
All right, so this is obviously not a called-in question to Ask Drone U. It's not an audio question, so we're going to read it. But
so what kind of, wait, was it an email question?
It was an email question.
To you.
Actually, it was an email question to support@thedroneu.com.
Which is Rob.
Essentially, which is Rob. That's right.
It should not be Rob, but it is Rob.
That's
right
a
now.
very active email. Let's just put it that way.
Dude, every morning it's like...
we like this question because we think it could help a lot of people, and I would imagine that a lot of people don't know what they need to know about this. I don't know. I would hope that if somebody's got a 333, they know this, but maybe not. We're going to read it.
Go ahead.
All right, I have a question that's kind of time sensitive. He says he was flying at the river today. Doesn't say what river, that's fine. For personal use, emphasis on personal use, even though I have a 333 for commercial use is the way he states it. But this flight was strictly for personal use. I was flying my unique Q500 4K when I had an error message come up on the screen.
Awkward.
It said something regarding error, motor, land immediately before I get the aircraft directed back. It went down in the water. Crap. Is this something that needs to be reported to the FAA?
So my understanding is that anything from a lost link to a more serious problem from a lost link has to be reported on your monthly paperwork. But it's interesting because with the FAA and airplanes, there are certain qualifications that you have to meet in order to actually report to the NTSB. And sometimes you don't even have to report if the issue wasn't serious enough or it didn't cause damage to other people or property, which I find really interesting. And even though with drones, we're supposed to report a lost link or higher. That's my understanding. I haven't delved into it. I didn't research it crazy before this podcast. It's something I've been talking to John about. It's something I've heard other people chatting about in the community a lot. Mm-hmm. But it is my understanding that, yes, he does have to report that, but on his monthly reports.
No, I think you're absolutely right. And so what we did, speaking of John, Mr. Rupert, is we went to his website. And obviously this information you can find somewhere on the FAA site as well and in other sources. But obviously we like to go to John because we trust him. And so I think what we'll do is we'll go ahead and put a link.
Wait. Let's be honest. We go to John because he raps.
Well, that's true. What's his...
J. Rupp.
J. Rupp, because he's called J. Rupp. Yeah. Anyways, we will put a link to this page on his site so that you can go read. It's very succinctly stated exactly what you need to do. It is a monthly reporting process. And let's see, just really quickly, you do need to report your monthly activity, which is interesting, even if you did not fly. And the other thing I think, Paul, is that it does not, at least anywhere that I can see or that I've found, distinguish in terms of reporting between personal use and commercial use. It's basically saying if you have a 333,
You got to report it.
you got to report.
Which
even
is
if you
how
didn't
I
fly.
understand it.
Yeah.
So
I don't know how many people, maybe you talk to people with 333s and understand what percentage of people are actually reporting and doing these
I
reporting.
don't have enough stats for that.
Yeah.
I know. Let's be honest here. There are people who report regularly all the time on time, and there are people who probably slack on it, and there are people who have slacked for months, and I've
Right.
heard cases of all the above.
Yeah, exactly. And it does not seem as though the FAA is really going after those people.
Well,
and saying
here's
where
a
are your
perfect
reports?
example of the FAA, right? Okay. There are 345,000 aircraft that have registration problems. I'm talking about real aircraft. This was a report that came out last year. I forget which magazine it was. It was either Forbes or The Economist or something, came out and said that. But one person, I think it was Politico, put out that Donald Trump's aircraft was late on registration, and the FAA went after Donald Trump, like instantly. So it just is a matter of, are they getting public attention for this thing? That will be the determinant on
Yeah.
whether they do something about it.
And that's not just the FAA. That's the
every government agency, yeah. So-
Absolutely. So there's kind of the high profile stuff is going to get.
But then again, what message does that send? And I'm not saying that's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm not interpreting it at all. I just wish that there were uniform practices across the board, just because I think that would add credibility and authority to government agencies as well as the country itself. And I say that because recently I went to Mexico, had an issue with customs and cameras, which cost me $1,800. Actually, it was pesos. But, when I saw the receipt, though, I freaked out. I was like, well, I'm going home. But you can only bring 2 cameras into Mexico.
And the rest you have like an excise tax of some sort?
16%. But
Wow.
if you reach
What is
out...
the deal with that? Like, that's
Who
so
knows?
random.
Who knows?
2 cameras.
But if you
Why?
reach out to the embassy and like tell them what you're bringing and why, they'll let you do it tax-free, which is so weird.
Oh, but you didn't know that prior.
No.
Okay.
No.
Learning something every day.
Sucks to suck for Paul. But what I'm saying, and when I went down there, it was very... the interpretation of their rules was really weighing in on how much I paid. Like, how
Right.
much are the cameras worth? How many cameras do you actually have? Well, you're allowed 2, so we're going to take this much off. And now they're selling on Amazon for this price, so we'll take this off. And it was just like, it was, luckily.
So they were literally pulling up Amazon while you're there, figuring out the cost
Oh, yeah.
or the value of your
and
camera.
I loved how there was, and this is everywhere. This is not just Mexico. This is everywhere. Don't use your phone in customs, right? But all the customs people are out on their phones. It's just like, okay, guys, like we're all supposed to follow the rules here, right? Not just us. But you can't be the guy that says anything, because then you attract attention to yourself, and then you become essentially
Right.
the target. So
Well, I
it's
will
just-
say, I think you were quick on your feet when they said, "What cameras do you have?" You pulled out the least expensive camera, and they just assumed.
no comment.
They just they just assumed that all your cameras were.
Well, actually, I pulled out
Right?
the case full of GoPros.
Okay.
Which was like 4 GoPros here.
So you saved yourself some tax by pulling out the GoPro.
I still paid a
Oh,
lot of tax.
There he goes. Note that, Sam.
It just wasn't fun, but it's funny actually. One of the representatives from the hotel was like, "I'm pretty sure if you write to the embassy even after the fact and give them the receipt, they'll refund your money." And it's like,
I wouldn't hold
what?
your breath. I mean, that sounds nice, but I wouldn't
it's
hold your
all
breath.
and then I just think about all the time it would take to do that, and it's just
Well,
like, you know
that's
what?
true.
I think my time is better spent on other things. Mexico, you can keep my money. Thanks for a great time. It was amazing.
There you go.
Yeah,
That's the
so,
spirit.
Yeah, you used me and you abused me, but I used you back.
We'll just call it an everybody wins scenario.
Yeah, honestly, I loved going to Cabo. I cannot express it enough because the people were so cool. I felt safe the entire time.
So would you recommend the hotel?
Oh, yeah, totally. Yeah, so I stayed at the JW Marriott Los
Right.
Cabos Hotel.
Stayed there because you were filming for them.
That is correct. Which was nice because you don't need a 333 in Mexico, even though ours is days away. But that being said, it was just beautiful because their rules are very lax. You know, you need a permit, but if you're under, I think it's like 5 pounds, you don't need a permit. So it was really cool. And one thing I noticed that was very different from America, there was a drone at every single construction site for a hotel, and there were like 27 going up. So there were phantoms everywhere. And it was so cool to see. It was like, this is what society looks like in the future. Like,
right.
And it was just incredible because you have a country that some deem as second world, third world. I wouldn't call it third world. I would say it's practically first world in my opinion.
It's essentially developed though, yeah.
Yeah, developed country that's more advanced than the United States. Literally. And people say the United States is falling behind, and it's a visualization of just that. And it's incredible because the amount of information and data that they're getting and able to do construction better, to be more efficient, to have the permanent record of installation, to manage their subcontractors, it's brilliant.
It's the lack of the curse of bureaucracy.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, but that can also go both directions.
It can.
And I saw evidence of that too, so...
I mean, it's a beautiful place to go, but
it's only 3 hours from here.
Let's be real. I think we'd rather live here, right? Uh-oh, he's thinking about it. Let's just say I'd rather live here. But anyways, for the time being. Guys, if you have a question.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's still pondering that question. I guess if you can live at the Marriott in Cabo.
No, I mean, like, if we had a studio set up down there and I could, bring some friends down regularly, I would totally live
with
there.
Your Centurion?
No, there's no lakes around. There's not going to be any.
They don't have ocean boats?
They have ocean boats, but it's, you could just go surfing.
That's true.
So,
what about a Centurion fishing boat?
No. But you could get a big yacht. They had this, and I took a picture of it just for you. It was a 65-foot, $28 million yacht you could rent for $18,000 a day.
Nice.
And the wave off of that.
Taking pitch-ins.
Yeah. The wave off of that thing was like 15 feet, so you could surf behind that thing.
That works.
Which would, you could actually get in the swell too. Get on your knees, get in the swell. I think that'd be cool.
All right, something to look forward to.
Definitely. All right, what were we talking about?
We're just going to let people know that they can send their questions to askdroneu.com. We know you have them. Keep in mind that if you have a question, there's probably a lot of other people that are wondering the same thing, so don't be shy.
Definitely, guys. Well, I guess that's going to do it for us today. Make sure you send those reports into the FAA if you are a 333 pilot. And if you're a 107 guy or you want to be a 107 guy, get used to writing down everything about your flights because it's not like Mexico. That's going to do it for us today. My name is Paul.
And I'm Rob.
And this is Ask Drone U.
We believe that videos, images, words, and sounds have the absolute power to inform, inspire, and entertain. We are united under the virtues of safety and knowledge. We are a training community of learners and teachers who encourage and energize each other to achieve greatness. We are pilots, videographers, photographers, freelancers, business owners, enthusiasts, experts, and apprentices. We are creators. We are the Drone U.